Hello everybody, my name is Bloodike here. Welcome back to Crossover Catchup, the place where we talk about crossover news and other things. I'm joined here by my friends, PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye. Say hello.
Good morning to you, laddies. My name is Jacksepticeye, and welcome to a podcast about Versus Show. I am not qualified to take this at all. I'm leaving. Hi, I'm Gumbo Viking. I'm gonna fill in for him here.
We've just left the onus on being PewDiePie on Hyper. Go on, Hyper.
PewDiePie is dead.
I don't watch his videos. I don't know what he sounds like.
You don't know what PewDiePie sounds like.
I mean, I don't watch
do,
PewDiePie either.
I do, but it's been like years. I forgot.
God rip PewDiePie replaced him with Mr. Beast. Say hello, Mr. Beast.
I mean, it's just basically yelling. That's kind of.
All right, then yell.
Go on.
No.
Yell.
I gotta respect the commitment to that no. That was from the heart. That wasn't like, no, I don't want to. That was like, no, Gumball. Story over.
Shit.
The answer is no.
Well, anyway, this is a podcast, if you could not tell. We've done one of these already, unfortunately, and we intend to do more, to scare you. You in particular, you in the back, Tyler.
I always love randomly, just calling out a name, just because, you'll never know for sure, but there's always the possibility that someone's just watching this, and they're going, that's me! How's they know that's me? How's they know I'm watching?
How did they know that I am French?
You ever think about how, the more you listen to it, the more you realize how similar a French and German accent are?
I love how versus-oriented this conversation has been so far.
Well, versus debaters love making matchups where the only connection is race, so this is a pretty on theme. You know, French and German accents, they're quite similar, and when you think about the origins of France and Germany, that fits. Makes sense.
So how do we segue this into our first category?
Alright, we're gonna go to a first entry. We're gonna look into news now.
The news today is there's not much news in the slightest.
Wow, I can't believe you said that. I'm gonna tell David you said that his birthday wasn't that much news.
Happy birthday to Origin the Hero, also known as David. This is going to be coming out a week after, so give him a belated happy birthday if you haven't already.
Bombard his PMs, don't actually, but it would be kind of funny.
Hyper, why did you decide to name this news now when it should be called news but within a week?
Yeah, that's kind of on you, dude.
Well, you see, alliteration be damned.
All right, weekly roundup. We pronounce it like Elmer Fudd.
Did you say with fun?
You see this? No, I said like Elmer Fudd.
Oh, okay. I thought you said with fun. I was gonna be like, what is that gonna do with this? Shit balls. Okay. No one can see what I'm doing, so they don't know why I just said that. And I think it's funny if I just leave you in the dark.
So Origin was born on the same day Harambe died. That's fucking crazy.
There's 1 or 2 years between them, I think.
Potentially. We'll
this,
never
this
know.
This is why they don't make clocks out of gimbals.
They also don't make come back. I'm too hungry. I feel like making a sandwich, but I know I shouldn't.
We had so much preparation time here, and you decided to not food yourself.
I wasn't hungry back then.
You know what? I can respect that. I can respect that, because there's a lot of times where I'll be walking around and I'll be like, you know what, I actually need to go take a piss. And then someone's like, well, why didn't you fucking take a piss before we left? And I'm just standing there thinking, I didn't need to take a piss when we fucking left, mate. So I can respect that. I know that feeling, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Origin's birthday.
Happy
Amazing.
birthday, David.
Other than that, well, last week Death Battle announced what it was doing. 1 Minute Melee came back. So much shit happened.
That's
if we
two
had
whole
news like that if we had huge news like that every 2 weeks, we would just be a full-on news station. Forget
But you know
YouTube,
what?
dude.
There is good news. The good news is there's no bad news. So when you think about it that way, you know, we could be sitting here talking about how Death Battle was cancelled and is never going to happen again. But no, we're not, are we? It's not the case. So, you know, if you wake up in the morning and you think, you know what, I feel like doom posting right now because you haven't heard news within a couple weeks, just think to yourself, how hard would Nemesis Bloodreich smack you up the backside of the head if you did that? And the answer is pretty hard.
A moderate 6 to 7.
I would give you a pretty hard... Oh, wait, no, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say backshot, and I realized that's not what that means.
The actual, by the way, and the actual, this was on top of the actual news of Origin teasing Carnifex versus Yellow Lantern for XPX.
Oh, yeah. He's teasing something. It's not that important. As Gumball would put it, at least.
Yeah. Do you know what that is, by the way? Do either... Well, I mean...
Yeah.
It's another one of those grimdark alternate universe things.
Yeah, so basically, Spanish speaking, I don't know if it's Spain outright or Mexico, but it's an AU of Ben 10 that's essentially a creepypasta where the Omnitrix was not built for the sake of negotiation and peace, and Ben has no control over it.
See, that's what I always had, like, freaking nightmares about that stuff, because that always looks painful whenever he transforms, and I never liked how that looked as a kid. Nowadays, I just appreciate how freaking stunning the animation is for that scene. But back then, it freaked me out.
Back then, you were a coward!
I'm guessing... You foolish little child, you little bitch. Why don't you grow some balls, 10-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you should puberty yourself, now!
It just reminds me of, like, the one time when, like, freaking parents complained about Ghost Freak, and that's why they had to, like, change him, like, from being one of Ben's main 10 aliens and just make him an antagonist removed from the Omnitrix. And I'm like, do you not see the rest of these other transformations? But you're like, oh man, look at these very grotesque and graphic animations. Oh man, these are so bad.
That feels
but then,
a bit offensive.
Yeah,
you know?
but
Ghost
then, like,
Freak, just because of what he is, was labeled a villain. That doesn't seem right. Is that the message that parents want their kids to take? How truly
he's a ghost.
Callous of... I forget who made Benjamin Tenjamin.
Man of action.
That was very news reporter of you, to just make a sudden accusation and present it in such a professional way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a me, Nemesis Bloodreich. I try not to pick up on the stupid jokes that Biff drops sometimes, but I can't. I do enjoy just, like, changing my name slightly to mean something else. And it just that's not a word, but it is now. As if Bloodreich was ever a word.
It probably is in some locations.
Well, it shouldn't be.
Too bad.
I thought you said Dubai for a second.
Just like listing a location where it's an actual word, as if I have Webster pulled up right as we speak.
Dubai, that Bloodreich is still not a word.
No. I'm pretty sure it is.
You're not sure on anything.
Specifically. Ow.
You're not even sure whether you're a gumball or not. People are talking. There's rumors.
There's been rumors.
Also, fun fact, everyone. I have a ton of random Transformers I bought over a very long period that have just shipped over. And now, I'm going to open one while these two talk. Because I can't... I'm going stir crazy staring at these boxes of Transformers unopened. And
Talk,
for
talk, you
Sunbellows,
talk.
because I know you're probably watching, on my desk right now is Alternity Thundercracker, a Korean release of Beast Wars Neo Big Convoy, and Transformers Cybertron Sideways. And I'm now opening Legacy United Thundertron, because he's one of the 2 United figures that didn't show up in Australia, so I had to order him online.
Alright, on an actually interesting topic, how many of the FNAF animatronics could be Persona users within the context of the series?
I don't know how that works. The only Persona game I played is Shin Megami Tensei 3.
Hyper, what about you?
Repeat the question.
How many FNAF animatronics
Anyway,
could
let's
be
move on
capable
to the
of wielding
next
a Persona?
segment. We are done with the news. Let's now talk about Versus Void. Now the screen is purple, which means it is the best part of the video.
Yes, this is the best part of the video.
Uh-huh.
So, first and foremost,
God, why are you taking so
if
long?
you were on the death...
Read up.
Bro,
Read up.
yapping. Bro's yapping.
So, if you guys are in the Death Battle Wiki, you may recognize a user known as Trace. She is a fun person to be around, and she's also started a series of versus scripts that she has been uploading, I'm pretty sure daily for over a week now, of matchups, starting with Sora versus Haru Glory from Ravemaster.
That's your favorite.
Yeah, I like Sora. He's a fun guy. He's a guy, you know.
Fun fact, I am
Mm-hmm.
starting to play Xenoblade Chronicles because I've finally got a copy of it. And I guess maybe after
The
that,
negotiations have worked out.
I will play Kingdom Hearts in the future because I've had that for a long time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you gonna get walled by Waka again?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was.
By the way,
I was never war, but I was just enamored by Waka. Just the fact that he's there. You don't understand how happy that makes me. As someone whose arguably favorite Final Fantasy game is 10, which is one of the coldest takes in the world. But then, I think the only take of my favorite Final Fantasies that's not super cold is that Final Fantasy 4 is one of my favorites. And even that's
I
kind of
love
pushing
Final
it.
Fantasy 4. Anyway, Trace's first script series. It's called Gray's Free, and it is on the Archive forum. We can link it in the description
Archive
as soon as this is done.
Let's take a look
Yep.
at the matchups.
So first episode,
Which is not so we can criticize them, though that might happen. It is so we can tell you what there is, and if you're interested, you can go and have a look. So we've already talked about the first one. The second one is... This one just makes me chuckle, admittedly. This one makes me chuckle.
oh, I don't want you to read the whole I want you to read the whole thing eventually, but I want you to just specifically look at the ending.
Of Donkey
Ending for
Kong
which
versus
episode?
Toriko.
Yeah, Donkey.
That's episode
Yes.
2.
yes.
DK
Yeah,
versus
just-
Toriko.
Just specifically that one. I'm just gonna say that one has a really unique ending.
Oh boy. And the next episode after that is Ridley versus Vile, Metroid versus Mega Man X.
I like that one a lot. That was really cool.
Oh
then
my
you got-
god.
I'm in case.
Don't spoil. Don't spoil
No,
if you sound engaged.
Yeah, if you sound engaged, that's just the incentive. Just read it and find out for
The
yourself.
next one is Ridley
We're not
versus
gonna say it.
Vile. That is Ridley
Yes, I already
from
said
the
that.
series that nobody agrees on the stats of, and Vile from the series that everyone wants to beat Star Force, but they have eventually come around to accepting that that's just not going to happen.
So instead, they're going to have Optimus Primal kill X as the consolation prize.
And they're going to try and believe that X wins, and they're just going to feel really silly at the end. After that, we have Invernate. Oh, okay. I did not see that one coming. Huh. Invernate versus
Yeah, that's the thing about
Rajan.
Trace. That
I like it.
some of
I
these
can dig
some of
it.
these matchups are out of nowhere in a good way.
I know who
It's
these
stuff
two are.
that makes me think.
Gumball, you're on.
All right. Episode 5 is Don Flamingo versus Yazukora. I have
like
not.
it. I really
have-
like this one.
I have not gotten to that point in One Piece yet. I'm still stuck on Sky Island.
I'm
They
pretty
won't
sure
let me back down.
I'm pretty sure Donovan has explained to me what a Don Flamingo is, but that's still just to me a silly name.
He's a he's a tall guy with a funny gif of him
Oh,
walking.
let's go. We got
Yeah,
Syndrome
It's
versus
very
Titan.
funny.
Syndrome versus Titan has always been a fun matchup. You don't really need to explain much to understand how it works.
Sounds like your cat wants to explain it.
Well, he's going to have to shut his little mouth because he's not media literate enough. You keep saying that Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate is passable. You need to shut your fucking mouth, little kitty.
I just edited. Oh, I can't actually talk about that because I want it to be a surprise. Never mind. I edited something to do with Megamind versus the Fuckwit Brigade, and boy howdy, I don't think I've been that mad recording something in a while. This was before. I
So the
recorded-
Schaefer
this is-
syndrome
this is-
got to you
This is
too.
before I recorded for the Hooper segment of my Pokemon ranking, but I like the Hooper movie a lot more than Megamind 2.
All right,
I watched that movie because I thought maybe people are being too harsh. They weren't harsh enough.
Yeah, it's bad. We have
did-
Hajime Kashimo versus Luck Vulture. I'm going to assume it's pronounced Jujutsu Kaisen and Black Clover.
and that is Black. Yep, Black Clover is really fun. I need to get you guys into it sometime.
Yeah, okay, good luck.
I
And then
really.
Son Goku
Okay.
versus Pegasus Seiya. Let's go. I mean, it's not my favorite
Yep,
fight,
that
but
is
like,
a-
let's go. It's cool. I like it. I
Yeah,
hope Seiya dies, but I know
That
he
is
doesn't.
That's the newest one so far, and I'm really excited to read this one. I haven't gotten to it yet. But it's always a matchup that's intrigued me because this is Mexico, the matchup essentially, given how huge the series are over there.
Okay,
So,
Gumball.
um,
All right.
then
I see how it is.
Don't try it. Don't try to make an implication.
Oh
that's
no, it's not
there.
trying. It's just doing. On the topic of Seiya, I will remind everyone that the best Saint Seiya matchup is, of course, Zack versus Victoria.
Ghost Rider No, it's Ghost Rider versus Andromeda Shun.
No, it's Zack versus Victoria, otherwise known as Pegasus Seiya from Guardians of the Cosmos versus Sailor Moon from Saban's 1994 TV pilot.
Not Death Battle that shit, you know?
Oh, it's... I was going to do the live-action ones, and then I realized, actually, you know what? The live-action Sailor Moon, it's charming. And then the live-action Saint Seiya is one of my least favorite movies of all time. And I've never read the manga. And from what I know, I probably shouldn't, because it's not very good. But I'm sure I've just heard a lot of people right there. But how many of you people have actually read the fucking manga and not just watched the anime? If you have, comment down below about how I'm wrong. Please drive engagement.
Okay. Give me money. Give me money. I want to be monetized.
Give me money
so I
for
can buy more
disagreeing with me.
Transformers.
I have now unboxed Legacy United Thundertron. He is so cool. I love this thing already. And I can rip his foot off. And it's great because I've got the original Thundertron mold, but only in the form of the Lyo Convoy version. Not the original or Alpha Trizer, which I'm certain this guy's going to become Alpha Trion.
Well,
but
anyway.
That's why he's
so-
got a figure.
So anyway, as you look in Archive of Our Own, you can also see some tags, including some warning tags for, let's say, depictions of violence, major character death, and you can also have character tags on the side, and it also shows you some statistics, how many words, how many
Depictions of
chapters, stuff like that.
Depictions of violence in my versus hobby.
How dare they?
I'm
But-
offended.
Yeah, this is a really solid versus series. It's not a show per se, but I would believe that this community has the ability to read. This is
You
not
would be
on
wrong.
Audible yet. Who's Sauron? Anyway, yeah, this is a really fun versus series.
Check it out and give it support. It would be really cool.
the Death Battle wiki, and especially Trace would appreciate it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Anyway, a lobotomy. Why didn't I think of that? If that sounds completely out of left field, then that's because you haven't watched Death Debate Club, which is another versus show that we are going to talk about. So if I were to try to pitch Debate Club with terms that people are familiar with, Galaxy Grudge Match, something akin to that, where the animation quality obviously isn't going to be up to the standard that Death Battle has normalized for a lot of casuals, but the writing department is really engaging. I might be mixing up words. Whichever show did Daffy versus Donald, or Mewtwo versus Tatsu, basically, like, obviously, it's not Death Battle, but the animation is still...
Multiverse Match! You bucket!
I keep mixing up names.
Wow.
I keep mixing up names. I keep mixing up names.
See, this is why everyone thinks you're a tomato. Because that is tomato behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, like, literally, tomato.
Don't worry, Gumball. I don't mix it up.
So you're just racist on purpose. But anyway, Multiverse Match. That is a good way to describe Debate Club, because it has the same heart, I think, puts so many ideas into motion. And while the animation isn't up to Death Battle standard, first of all, it's an absolutely insane standard for people to expect out of every single versus show. But that's not to try and downplay how good the animation is, given the budget that Debate Club is working with. If I were to recommend 2 episodes to start out, I discovered them through Saint Seiya versus Sailor Moon, and more recently, the guy from Medeka Box versus Accelerator. I forgot his name already. Tomato. I'm a disgrace.
I am the Medeka Box guy. I like Kumagawa.
It is.
It's a cool episode. And they got the result correct, too, which is great, because I know a lot of people who think that Kumagawa loses because he can't touch Accelerator. Which is like, tell me you haven't read, because he's not in the anime, really. Tell me you haven't read Medaka Box. Is that telling me you haven't read Medaka Box? Actually, no. Tell me you haven't watched it either, because even in the very brief bit he does show up in an OVA, he deletes the color blue. You know you can't touch the concept of the color blue, right?
Wait, he just do that?
Yeah, he can just do that. Because the way all fiction works is, more or less, he decides a thing that he wants to turn into fiction, it's not there anymore, and he does it. It just stops being there.
Wow.
It's really overpowered.
For anything I would get,
which obviously fits
I would get for anything for that kind of power.
The irony that he always loses, despite having that incredible power. Because he's a minus. He's fucking depressed, and his whole thing, like his meta narrative purpose, is to be the villain that always loses, no matter how overpowered they are. He can't just delete Medaka, because, like, that's not what he does. That's not what the villain does. Like, that's his role, is to be the villain who loses. To the point where anytime he takes a W, it's recontextualized to be a loss in some way.
That is amazing.
Medaka Box is amazing.
I love that.
It deserves more credit. It's not just the series with the overpowered protagonist. She's only fucking, like, planet level anyway. Like, and that whole, like, people love to put the fucking scan of, like, all the powers on screen. They always use Aijumu, not Medaka. You fucking pineapples.
Yep.
Well, anyway, this long-winded rant has not showed you anything, is that Nemesis is very passionate about this character, and he gives this episode a thumbs up, as well as the series, don't you know? I'm not holding a gun to you or anything.
I'll have
Just
to
smile away to the camera.
I'll have to ask Rena how, like, Accelerator was handled and whether that was good or not. Because I can't comment on that. Just everything that I've heard about what Accelerator can do, in terms of actually reading debates about it from people who know Accelerator, I was gonna say both, but then I realized no, it's usually just people who only know Accelerator. I don't know. I don't know how well Accelerator was handled.
Yeah.
But I can talk about Kumagawa. I liked it.
Maybe I should check out Knockbox. No. Let me finish my first list. I already have a big list of stuff. I just haven't like I just haven't like gone through it.
You have a lot of things to check out, and you never check out. All you ever do is shoplift. You need help.
Yep.
You've stolen over $45,000 worth of merchandise from across several stores located across the country. This is not a habit. This is a crime spree.
Anyways, can we move on to the next segment?
Alright, we're gonna move on to music moment. We're gonna talk about music. Mostly just Brad and Yates, because Theirwolf hasn't been doing anything in a bit, because he just finished up the batch of commissions. Yeah. We really timed this series well. So there are 9 tracks as of recording this. One of them technically is more than 2 weeks old, but shut the fuck up. The first one is the vocal...
we can make an exception. We can make an exception for that, but not Sora versus Link. All right, I see you.
Do you want to talk about Sora Link after this, just so we can rep Theirwolf a bit? I'll let you. You took too long to answer. Alright, Heroic Connecting Hands. This is the vocal version of a track that I already really liked. Now, because, you know, you might have seen me rank a bunch of these tracks. I've still not gotten around to doing the rest of the 2023 output. I will. Brandon, don't worry. But I think that I prefer Symphonic Eruption in the instrumental, but I definitely prefer the vocal version of Heroic Connecting Hands. I really, really liked how it came out. And I can say nothing on the mashup, because I don't know what the hell a Yuna Yuki is. I assume that she's a hero. I get the feeling that she's a hero, but like, that's all I can say. Well, it can't just be me talking about them, come on!
You keep cutting out, but I don't want to say anything.
I think that's just like on our end it cuts out, but when you record it, it's fine, I think.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll believe that. So the next track is No More Heroes, which has nothing to do with No More Heroes. This is Billy Butcher versus
no Travis
Stain.
Here.
Ain't no Travis. We don't know about him. We apologize for the inconvenience, but we're talking about Billy Butcher and Stain here. And the track is really good, and doesn't feel like it's from the boys at all.
Do people remember the Boys for his soundtrack and not like bring Imagine Dragons into the discussion?
Like the boys, I remember a single track from the boys. I'm gonna be honest.
I just always think about Imagine Dragons, but it's obviously not for the boys. But it's just like I associate it with it. It's funny.
Yeah, Imagine Dragons.
Why do you talk like that?
That's Soul Dude's favorite band. Did you know? Oh, definitely.
Oh,
Hyper, what?
Good pick.
Hyper, what? Hyper, why do you talk like that blonde hair guy from King of the Hill?
Blonde hair guy, is that his name?
Blonde hair guy. I have never heard of that. I have never heard of
I have never heard of a man with blonde hair. He simply does not exist.
They don't exist. Anyways, continue.
Anyway, yeah, No More Heroes is a nice one. I don't have much to say about it, but the boys, despite not having much of a strong musical identity on its own, I think is solidly consistent with how good the tracks are. Which is very ironic and cool. Funny and cool. It can be both.
Then we have Memory Not Found, which is for Quote versus... I didn't even talk about the matchup. It is for Quote versus Mega Man Volna, which seems like a neat matchup, but I've not played either game, so I can't really comment. Because I don't.
I've tried Cave Story. It was an experience. I
tried
sure
it?
had an experience of all time.
Well, I guess we know
Yeah,
who isn't a Cave Story fan here.
I could get it on DSi if I could.
Yeah, okay, well, like, real talk, I did enjoy it thoroughly, but that last level was so hard, I accidentally
That
deleted my save and I had to redo it
Is
again.
exactly what I. Okay, that's not quite exactly what I hear, but I hear a lot of people complain about the last stage of the true ending.
Yep, it is,
Hey, Hyper, what's your opinion on fighting 79 bosses in a row with no checkpoint?
Would you rather do that or be stuck on the moon forever?
I think that moon looking pretty fancy.
Now,
anyways,
to
I
be
like
fair,
this track
it'll take
a
you
lot.
about
It's
as much
cool.
time to beat all those bosses as it would to walk back home from the moon. So, yeah.
Yeah, I could
Alright.
just walk from the moon to Earth.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, why don't
why you sound
Why didn't
sarcastic?
Neil
Why wouldn't you be
Armstrong
able
do
to?
that?
I'm not
He has,
sarcastic. No.
he hasn't-
No,
he hasn't
no,
figured-
no.
Oh, never says he hasn't figured out the strat yet. What a loser.
No. He doesn't
Yeah,
get
anyways,
the,
I
he
really
doesn't know
like
the
it.
tech.
It's got an upbeat, high energy to it. It's
It's a really
cool.
good track.
Yeah, out of the batch this week, this is my third favorite. We're gonna get to the other one soon, but I really love this one. It also sounds a lot like Science Blaster, and I can't get it. And I can't get that out of my head.
Before Gumball even told me that it sounded a bit like it, I was hearing that one bit and I was like, oh. Alright, my next one is Moonlight Magica. This is the B matchup.
This
Yeah,
is the
because-
best. This is the best track of the batch. This is like an easy
The
S tier.
correct phrase is your
This is
favorite
someone-
of the match.
Yeah, because B put a lot of effort into it. So much so that there's 2 tracks
Actually,
that cover arts in the same video.
I think you'll find that Brandon put a lot of work into it. I think you'll find that B didn't have much input on the audio side of this. Track
No,
art's really
B
good,
used
though.
her, you know.
Track cover, not to track. Did that not
No.
pick up?
No. B is using her mind powers. You know, that's what happens when you transition. You become a
I
psychic.
mean, yeah, like we are Australians. That's an Australian thing, actually. I know she can do that. I constantly have to fight off her influence. She's always trying to make me watch Might and Magic, and I keep telling her to shut the fuck up.
It's
you know-
a constant battle.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch Kamen Rider,
Alright.
and she's like, no, turn this one off. Watch Kamen Rider Gaim instead. And I'm like, I'll get there when I get there.
When I want to watch blue, but my bitch trans friend wants to watch orange.
I gotta watch 1971, Kamen Rider V3, Kamen Rider X, Kamen Rider Stronger, Kamen Rider Amazon, Kamen Rider Super 1, Kamen Rider Black, Kamen Rider Black RX, Kamen Rider 555, Kamen Rider Hibiki, Kamen Rider Kabuto, Kamen Rider Den-O, Kamen Rider Kiva, Kamen
So
Rider
anyway,
Deke,
this is
Kamen
a
Rider
really
O's,
nice
Kamen
track.
Rider
The way
Forza,
it
Kamen
keeps
Rider Wizard, and then I can
escalating,
watch
and
Time.
then the whole funky feel of it, the way it just kind of draws from both franchises in this grand and epic way, while still having this emotional core to it. Especially that saxophone, I want to say, solo at the bit there. Oh, that fucking gets me, dude.
It's a very good track, yes.
I
Comment
think
down below if
the
you love Sailor Moon like Gumball.
Delete that
He's
comment
not
when
denying
you're
it.
done.
Alright, the next one we have is The Force Was Stronger.
The best.
That's a
The
bad name.
title, just
That's a bad name.
I don't like
All right.
the title.
All right, to describe this track in one word, it's different.
I'm not gonna say Invincible
Whatever
Force
you've-
would be a better name, but Invincible Force would still manage to be a better name.
If there was like, I don't know how I feel about this one. I
It's
just
a-
know that if I were to describe it to someone, whatever you would expect for it to sound like, it's not.
It sounds exactly like your standard Invincible track, which is the last thing I think anyone's expecting. Because no one, I mean, we just talked about nobody thinks about the boys' music. There's one track people think of with Invincible, or two if you include the little sting when his name shows up. But like, you're not gonna make a whole track around that. Though if you did, that would be really funny.
And that's what Invincible versus Gohan's gonna be.
I don't even get that matchup. Why isn't it Invincible versus the Great Saiyan Man? I don't get it.
No, literally, it is so easy to just implement the Great Saiyaman into the matchup. If people are talking about the skill issue, have it start with the Great Saiyaman.
I was making a joke about, like, pretending like I didn't know the Great Saiyaman was Gohan.
Wait, they're the same?
No. The next we have is It's Time to Rip, which is... Oh, yeah, on the matchup. Invincible versus Luke. Lame. It's Time to Rip. It is a song.
This is probably what Silver Gunner says whenever they upload.
This is a very funny track. I'll give it that. It is amusing.
I
Do I want to listen to it again?
I was so intimidated when I first heard it.
Oh, were you expecting? Yates isn't gonna do that. Just because the VTuber is slurred doesn't mean that's gonna be thrown into lyrics, dude. Come down. Hey, how are we going to reference this one Tibetan? Well, I have an idea. Get out of my office.
Shame, Hyper. I don't really have anything to say about it. I mean, I'm gonna have to when I get around to ranking it in 3 years' time. But, no, I don't rank the vocal tracks because I don't feel like comfortable with them like being in the same ranking as instrumentals. That was really awkward when I did all of the Death Battle tracks.
Yeah, obviously when there's vocals in it, the song's usually structured with them in mind, and I imagine commissions always have some kind of gap open in case that happens.
No comment. We have
We'll
Alpha,
have to see.
Arceus versus Yahweh. To be clear, that is Shin Megami Tensei Yahweh. He is not fighting any Bibble characters here. It is the big face that you punch repeatedly in Shin Megami Tensei 3 and probably other games too.
Man, if there's one thing about Yates and Shin Megami Tensei, he loves that fucking organ.
Well, Shin Megami Tensei
And
loves
that's
that fucking organ, so...
That's the right way to do it. That's the right way to do it.
He's very good at... He
The
captures
organ
the vibe.
is...
I don't think it captures the vibe of... I can only speak for Nocturne, admittedly. I don't think it captures the vibe as well as... What's it called? The Demi-Fiend versus Lahal track. No, not Lahal. The... I'm gonna just look it up, because I don't remember.
Just, yeah.
Shut up.
Well, whatever the case, it's really fucking funky, and I like funky.
Helltaker.
I think
It
every
doesn't
song should come-
feel as Shin Megami Tensei as Hell's Rejection does. But I can only say that for 3. I don't know how the music is in 4, 5. Well, no, I know the music is in 5. I played a bit of 5. I don't know how the music is in 4, 2, 1. Other numbers that may or may not exist in relation to the Shin Megami Tensei franchise.
I just think every song should have a more funky version attached, like funky mode included, like the sunglasses, surfboard, straight up breaks, Super Mario Kart Wii.
I think what we need is a Funky Kong versus Dante track, which is equal parts funk and vicious, scowling vocals. Just because I think that'd be really fucking funny. And it should be called... It should be called Now With. That's the name of the track. Now With. And the track art...
From the Brandon Yates series.
The track art should just be like Funky and Dante, just fist bump, good with each other. This is not a fight to the death. This is the two vibing. This is them fighting for fun.
You got the little thing in the top right corner and a gray stamp in the middle. All right.
Just money in the background.
After that, Hyper, are you gonna introduce the next one?
No.
See, we've respected the one no, but this time you've crossed the line, buddy.
The next one is a Matter Most Dark. And that is Boros versus Dark Matter.
Oh, actually, no. Can I say it this time?
Fucking hell. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Make up your fucking mind, pussy.
Yeah, actually, I don't want to.
Oh my god, this guy. This guy. Nemesis, we should beat him to death with hammers.
I wanted to do that once. Okay. Yeah, I'm at it. Must start.
No!
Boros versus. Uh-oh.
You have lost the privilege.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead. I won't say no again.
Okay, I'm at her.
No.
Sorry.
To be fair, I didn't say no that time. I knew he was gonna do it, but I stayed true to my promise. I'm now opening another Transformer. So if you hear anything in the back, that's me.
Well, I have made
Except for
no
the cat,
such
that's not
promise.
me. Demonstrably, I can't do a cat sound. Okay, never mind.
I'm gonna put my cat up on the mic.
Okay, I'm at her most dark. Boros versus Dark Rider. I like it. It's good. Very cool. I like it. A weird matchup, but like I don't really get it. But,
They
like,
have
it's cool.
an eye, and they be mean to people. Space. You understand now? I nearly just stabbed myself.
I have been enlightened.
Alright, before we get too critical, are you expecting like a full-on essay about why a Kirby character should fight someone? It's a Kirby character. The only real character that is probably has enough to work with in a versus context that has a full-on arc is DDD. And that's such a funny sentence.
Susie.
And if I'm not forgetting anything,
You probably
today marks the newest Jax from Yates, which is Dr. Jero versus Dr. Eggman.
Yes, Dr. Gero versus Dr. Eggman. And
Gero.
it's a very good track. I really like Unparalleled Genius.
The cover especially, Red Runner did the cover. I wonder who that guy is. Haven't heard of him before. But more importantly, he just straight up said it was the price of a normal cover. He just felt like going ham.
I like it. I think he did good. I'm talking about both Red Runner and Brandon.
No, you have to do it individually, otherwise it isn't.
I think he did really good.
See, there you go.
For both Red Runner and Yates.
There we go.
Each.
Everyone give a round of applause.
I can't fucking hear you. No, it's not because I can't physically hear you. That's just a mental protest against you.
Well, I wish I knew that before I started clapping loudly at 11.
So yes, the matchup is... It sure is a fucking matchup, but, you know, the music is good. And, you know, that is what matters most.
I was gonna say who I thought won, but then that would imply I would want to debate in this section. I don't want to.
Oh, people aren't ready to hear that
It's
Eggman
like-
wins.
Yeah, no, Eggman wins.
Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, with this. Yeah, with this super laser.
Like, yeah, I mean, he doesn't even need any, like, the universal bullshit you can bring up. You just bring up the big fucking circle with a mustache that blows up star systems. Story over.
You don't even talk about that. You could talk about the fact that he could throw hands with Sonic, Surge, Dr. Styline, and Base. He's just that guy.
Does Base Eggman match Jero? Or does Base Sonic match
Sure.
Jero? I don't think so.
No, I know. I'm pretty sure. No, he's just like a guy.
Like,
Actually, I learned this from game theory. He outran Sonic that one time.
he's actually faster than Sonic the Hedgehog. Just like Mario. Except unironically, that is true.
Yeah, no, literally, Eggman. So, like, he's done it both in Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, and then they bring it up in the Sonic Twitter takeover, and all Eggman had to say was, "I work out."
I think
so it's just Saitama.
I think it would be I think it would be funnier if Sonic asked, "How'd you do that?" and Eggman said, "How did I do that? That's a great question, Sonic."
But no, he really is just Saitama, one sprint man.
One sprint man. That should be his new title.
He
Dr.
developed the same
Sprint Man.
boldness too.
connected. Just working
What a
out really
thematic
well. Man.
matchup. Where's my
and his
Dr.
side-
Eggman versus Saitama track, huh, guys?
His sidekick's a robot too. Holy shit!
That is true.
That is true.
They both have the. Oh my god, bro.
It's just got him. Okay, that's all of the current Yates tracks at the moment.
Yep, and I think that's that's not
Except
all
for
from...
Eggman versus
Oh yeah,
we also have another. We also have another artist this time. So last time I highlighted Cryo and Sky, but there is another versus music content creator who, admittedly, I'm not as into, but they still deserve a mention.
Wow. Oh, okay. You didn't need to say that.
Look,
Wow, Gumble.
obviously, I still like them.
For shame.
What do I? All of my actions are being judged against me.
Yep.
In the most brutal of ways.
Uh-huh. Correct!
So. So JVPS scores. They make their own versus music, and you might recognize them for being a cameo in the Brandon Yates track, Jolene versus Vanessa.
That's what the track's called.
Yep. But I would highly suggest listening to their own original music. I really like their style. Ironically enough, I think my favorite track for them was the April Fool's one they did, which was the Chipmunks Battle Royale, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore.
Who would actually win that?
Simon.
That was a really quick answer. It alarms me.
Yeah, stuff happens. Stuff happens that I wish I could forget, but I am burdened with the knowledge. And one of these podcasts, when we have that be the center of the podcast, like the main debate we have, I can go into detail. But today is not that day.
Leave a like if you want to see the Alvin and the Chipmunks Battle Royale discussed in detail.
Anyways.
I was more disappointed than your head.
Alright, so that was Music Moment.
That was a bit longer than a moment.
We now talk about...
I find how it's probably going to be the longest section consistently for most of these.
Oh, probably. It's because Brandon's a machine.
Yeah.
Paragraph pasta.
This is where we talk about paragraphs and pasta. Although personally, I prefer tetrazzini and tortellini.
We can call it pasta-graph too while we're at it.
We could, but that ruins our alliteration theme.
Yeah, but who cares?
I do. I worked so hard on not doing that.
It's time for not doing that. All right. So you two, this is on yous now.
All right. First one up is we got the next stream on blog. But by the time this is coming out, it's been weeks since this came out. But,
I have not even read this.
Anyways, this is Charlie Morningstar versus Marceline Hazbin Hotel versus Adventure Time. This also was also a small advertisement for DJ Tiki, who's doing editing commissions right now.
Do you recognize the name DJ Tiki? You don't, leave.
If you don't, then you're
like the video for. Just leave.
Leave a like on the video if you don't know the name, and if you do, leave a like on the video and comment as well.
Comment for the algorithm. Literally just comment the word comment. We'll understand.
Yep.
But DJ Tiki is an editor. He is a researcher. He is that guy, so to speak. And now he is taking commissions, editing commissions. He shows them off on his Twitter already, and you get to see more of it if you leave a like on this video.
Leave a like on this video, and I will use the money to not commission him until I have enough money to.
What matchup would it be for?
Pepsi Man versus Pepsi Man.
Leave on the like. I was going to say leave a like on this video to find out.
Leave a like on this video, and to motivate me to think of an actual matchup. It would be for a not death battle. But I don't know what matchup it would even fit.
Magneto versus the Tin Man.
Yeah, that episode's already happened, mate.
All right, you can rewrite history.
I'm not gonna redo Magneto Tin Man. If we did Magneto again, it would be Magnet Man. The GOAT.
I love your sense of priority.
The absolute GOAT that survived Eggman versus Wily. The only guy to survive Eggman Wily, because we never see him die.
He just promptly fucked off.
Good old Magnetman.
But anyway, Charlie versus Marceline.
I guess I could speak on this since I helped contribute to this one.
Yes, please do. You've not said a lot today.
Well, so for Charlie versus Morningstar, it's
Charlie versus
for this,
Morningstar.
yeah, Charlie. Yeah, I speak words. Yeah, Charlie versus Marceline.
You do that.
Basically this kind of continues the. Well, I guess this one's a little bit breakaway because this one recently, like as we picked the matchup, it recently became like a thing that people were talking about as a matchup. And for this one, the approach that we kind of went about this is that we kind of just wanted to like have like basically a verse list of all the feats and abilities of everything for Hazbin Hotel that we could reasonably give Charlie, while Marceline was just sort of like an overview of Adventure Time because that one's kind of just been all over the place as well. And basically what this blog was is, I could say the result, right? I don't remember if we said the result last time.
Oh, I'm not fussed if you want to.
I mean, I'll say it because I think it's funny, but basically it was Marceline can sew a composite Visi-Pop, which I think is very funny.
That is very amusing.
Yeah.
I've not.
I mean, she
either
did like have
series.
like one advantage with like the spear that would like be able to kill her, but that's it. I mean, it's still like just one season and like some of the episodes of Hell of a Boss as well, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I've not seen either show, so
Yeah.
I can't comment.
That's basically it.
I don't
Yeah. It was basically just like a compilation list of every like major feats and scaling and abilities for Charlie.
Cool story.
I really liked Hazbin Hotel. It was way better than I thought it was. Especially the music, especially the songs. Like, damn, they are really, really good songs.
Cool. I've still not seen it.
All right.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah. I can't imagine that show being for everybody.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I've not seen it. Yeah. I can't prove that it's better than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
I'm not the hyperstar man.
I will say though that
He's the nemesis star, man.
I will say though, this is not like a problem I have with the blog itself or anything like that, but this is just more of a versus being in general. It's just that having a person called Finn the Human get these stats and numbers is just like, it breaks my immersion sometimes, and it made me think, wow, this is really dumb.
Okay.
He's the last
Frisk
of his
versus
kind.
Nest
He's
fan.
the last. This is a human. This is a human child.
Oh. Okay. At least let me defend myself there. At least it's like
No.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm a failure. I am a hypocrite, a contradictory.
I'm a walking contradiction,
You're broken.
and I ain't got
You
no
are an
rhyme.
anomaly.
So while Hyper wallows in self-pity, we can talk about the other one. So remember Dr. Eggman? Let's talk about his dog. I think that's what it would be canonically. His pet dog, Metasonic.
Good old dog to Eggman.
This counts, right? Yeah. I think, like, in terms of the lore that the series is presented, this is a dog, right?
You just reminded. Okay, I this is a bit off topic, but I remember this. I was watching X-Men '97, and I
Okay.
remember when like Charles
Oh,
was like,
I'm terrified of where this could be going if you're
no,
bringing
no.
up
I
X-Men.
remember I remember when Charles Xavier was like gonna marry this woman. He's like, it was like, you know what? Would you be fine if I saw you as just like a pet dog? And he said, I wouldn't mind that.
Bro, he's a fucking freak.
No wonder
Well,
Rena
well,
likes
fuck,
this show.
like, guy, if you think that, why don't you go with Omni-Man then? I'm sure he'll treat you just like the pet you want to be.
What does that imply, Nemesis?
No.
Oh, there's no implication.
I'm gonna. Yeah, no, there's nothing. There's nothing.
There is
Yeah, anyways,
nothing.
Yeah, this blog, by the way, you didn't even mention the matchup, Metal Sonic versus Base, is by, and I quote, the guys that quit versus blogs made a blog on this.
Wouldn't it be cool
They
if
have
a
made a bunch
versus
of blogs on
show
it.
did this and then actually did it? Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh. Oh.
Someone.
I don't know if I'm legally allowed to comment here.
No, we're not. I'm not
you just-
implying anything here.
You just
I'm just saying,
you
wouldn't
put
it
me
be
in
nice?
a bit of an awkward
And
position.
there is one. Fictional characters collide. And I helped determine the winner, and I don't know even if I agree anymore. Someone commented and said, could you please explain some of this? And I was just thinking if I did, it would be, God, this was like 4 fucking years ago. Don't ask me to now. I don't even agree with that result, I don't think.
Yeah, I would never. Back when I was just like a comment section lurker, and I was just defending whatever Death Battle said because I just assumed there was all. Everyone does that as a teenager. They're stupid.
Yeah,
didn't.
exactly. I did it too.
Yeah, except like I was doing it for episodes like R versus Toph and Bowser versus Eggman, so my work was really cut out for me.
Well, that's very impressive, because I don't even think they've done Bowser vs. Eggman yet.
What can I say? I'm an innovator of my craft.
What can you say except
anyways, back to
you're
this.
incompetent?
So Metal Sonic, the dog, versus Base. I'm gonna say he's a Rottweiler.
The cat. He's a cat. Everyone's favorite
Okay.
Sonic character is well known, Base the cat.
Also voiced by Duke Nukem. He's had a bad streak at this.
Who won the blog? God, I wonder.
Read it to find out. Like the video.
Yeah.
Read it and then
Yeah, they've
like
done a
if you
couple
agree,
blogs.
and if you don't agree, comment and then also like too.
Yeah, they've done a couple blogs. I particularly like the Megas XLR versus Symbiotic Titan one. That was really cool.
Shitballs. Fuck.
Symbiotic Titan, the one show that people just remember it for that one woman's ass.
I thought it was a show that the people.
What are
only
you talking about? I don't.
I thought it was the show people only remembered for the fact that it stopped being there.
Oh,
Yeah,
am I thinking of Mega XLR then?
maybe because I don't remember it from that.
Alright, so
Hyper, you don't remember ass though.
so like
Okay.
we have removed the imagery of ass.
No,
from
no, no,
your
no, no, no,
landscape.
You are assless.
No, Kumagara, remove the concept of it.
Yeah, Kumagawa removed
The
the concept
concept
of
of-
sweet ass.
The concept of ass has
Wait,
been
no,
removed from your memory banks.
Kumagawa's a pervert though. There's no way he would do that.
He's keeping
what?
he's keeping it all to himself.
He's a teenager. Like he's kind of horny. Though he kind of does it more so just to make fun of people. But I have no idea how genuine it is because he's kind of. Kumagawa never really speaks his mind completely honestly. So.
So anyway, Metal Sonic versus Base, we're really good at getting off topic, and by we I mean everyone but me. I'm never going to hold myself
Shut up.
accountable for my actions.
No one
No.
asked you.
Like the video to get me to shut up.
Please do. You're never held accountable for your actions because nobody wants to acknowledge your actions.
Correct.
So
So,
anyway, who do you think
Yeah, I
wins
know.
Metal Sonic
This,
versus Bass?
this blog was cool. Neat. I liked it. It was cool.
check these guys out on Blogspot as usual. I know that means that you will probably have to use Blogspot. I'm sorry, but it's worth it.
And if you're ever afraid of reading, just put the script in, put the whole thing into a. Oh no, we're now in the day and age where I don't want to say go put it into a text to speech. Never mind. Just fucking read it. Use your eyeballs.
And like the video.
And like the video while you're at it too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now we move on. Actually, no, Markiplier, you segue to us. I don't want to pick up the synergy you keep doing.
official side of things. We're talking about official ordeal. We're going to start with Fortnite here. My favorite video game I've played a lot of times on my channel. Absolutely. You can just look at Markiplier Fortnite. You'll see how much I like to play Fortnite.
Alright, so,
This isn't a
news-
joke, by the way. We're talking about Fortnite. You know that thing that we totally, absolutely upload every day on Rich Channel? We don't, but we just kind of
Exactly.
I'm like,
Hyper just skipped this part of the video already. You can just stop now.
Mr. PewDiePie
No,
Beast,
no,
you
no,
can
no,
talk
no,
about
no.
Fortnite. Tell me, what's been put in?
so for this new season, I'll briefly talk since it's not. I'll briefly talk about like the gimmick. New season's like Road Rage, where vehicles take center stage, and competitive people certainly seem to like that a lot. Haha, they don't, but it's funny because builds suck. Anyways, the new crossovers
I
that
really
are being
enjoy Gumball's
added,
tweets.
new skins. No, they're based. They're so awesome. I love the clips for this season. Anyways, the new characters that they're adding for the battle pass, so that if you get it now, you'll be able to get it. But if you don't, you'll never see the light of day. Is Fallout.
Fallout.
Yeah, Fallouts, and also Magneto. Who's baby faced?
Where's
They gave him a baby
where's
face.
Mad Max?
There is
Where's
no Mad
Fat-
Max.
You said it
People
was
were
fucking
wondering
Road
where they
Rage.
were, but
Yeah.
yeah, but there's no Mad Max.
But the movie that just bombed at the box office, it's Mad Max.
No Mad
Yeah.
Max. But
But
you know
Mad-
what is there? Lethal Company.
So instead, we've got young washed Magneto and some game I've not played, but it's probably decent.
Yeah. Oh, and also Jason Voorhees. You know, no big deal.
Oh, okay, that's another time Jason and Michael have crossed over then.
Wait, another time? Is there
There are
like, actual...
in the like Universal like stage shows for Horror Night, they've crossed over a lot. They've met a lot of times. You know who else has met and fought? Like actually fought? Ronald McDonald and the Burger King. And you know who interrupted their
We do
fight?
need-
Wendy's. Genuinely,
Okay.
they fucking. It's great. Like they don't use any of their magic powers. They just fucking throw hands. They just whack each other around. They're like smack talking and beating each other up using dirty tactics. I swear, I think Ronald kicks the Burger King right in the whoppers. It's insane. It's glorious.
Listen,
Are you being-
hear me
are-
out.
Are,
I want
are
to
you
be.
being
I wanna,
serious?
Yes.
What?
Remind me, I will send you the full stage show after we record this.
Send? I don't believe it. Okay, and also, is the Jason Michael thing like actually like an official crossover thing?
It is. I'm pretty sure it is official. The stage things. They just never talk about them because like they're stage shows.
Listen,
Oh,
Speaking of
Listen,
stage shows, can someone
Okay,
go
man.
translate the entirety of Devil May Cry versus Sengoku Basara? Because I would really like to watch it properly because they do some pretty cool stunts on that stage show.
anyway, it would be really funny if they had like Ronald McDonald to Fortnite and there was like a Big Mac Mythic where if you ate it, you died.
They should add Ronald McDonald, Burger King, and Colonel Sanders at the same time, and just make it a thing. See who gets who people want the most between them. It'll be Ronald, but they're not going to do that because because McDonald's doesn't like using Ronald these days.
They add Colonel Sanders and this is how we get Green Lantern mythics.
Obviously.
Anyway, so we were talking about Fallout, but there's another guy. His name is fucking Thursday the 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already talked about him, bro. You know that is, you know that I'm pretty sure Thursday the 12th and Saturday the 14th are both movies that exist.
They gotta be, right?
Mm-hmm. I know for a fact
but
there's
also,
a Saturday the 14th. I'm pretty sure there's a Sunday the 15th too.
Anyway, Lethal Company. Like the video if you like Lethal Company.
What's Lethal Company?
Like the video to find out.
The correct answer is a bear. Wait, you gotta argue
You
with
just
that?
reminded me of that You just reminded me of this Twitter trend
Okay,
where
this can only go bad.
people asked women whether they prefer staying with a man or a bear, and lots of women responded with a bear. So men reasonably made comics of bears mauling women to get their point across because that makes them look sane.
I think they succeeded in getting the women's point across, yeah.
Well, that was not their intention. This is just what Twitter's like.
Leave a comment if you would like to be in the room alone with me.
That's. I'm sorry, but the implications there just.
I will show you all my Transformers. I have just opened Studio Series 86 Coronation Starscream, who I only got because they were selling them for a 12er. And I was like, alright, for a 12er it's not bad. And you know what? This mold still sucks, but the accessories make it look a lot cooler.
The door's locked. The windows are sealed shut.
And I also opened Studio Series Bumblebee Movie Thrust. That is a very bad name in this context. Thrust is cool. It's based on Armada Thrust, which is really unusual, but I don't dislike it. And I would have been cool if this was the last Bumblebee movie seeker I need to get. And then after I bought him, they announced Skywarp. So there's another one now.
Crazy.
They're going to eventually do Hot Link, they're going to do Dirge, they're going to do fucking Ramjet. I'll buy them all.
I'm just imagining. Imagine this tangent going on, but there's a guy just like tied to a chair through duct tape and his mouth is gagging. All he can do is just stare at
this Korean release of Beast Wars Neo Big Convoy? Look at how panelly he is. Are you not interested right now?
Like,
how about my Alternity Die Atlas, bro?
And it's like, fucking, during this entire spiel, the guy's just looking behind him trying to find an exit, but next to the door there's a 3-foot tall Unicron with a bat.
There is no 3-foot tall. Oh, is it? It might be 3 feet wide. There's a big Unicron.
3 feet.
Are you not a fan of Transformers? How about this model kit of the Blue Eyes White Dragon?
You don't understand. I have wasted thousands of dollars. And now I'm going to waste thousands of hours of your time.
How many dollars is on my desk over there?
I would not spend that much for toys.
Hyper, how much have you?
I realized what I just said. I realized what I just said.
How much have you put into Fortnite? How much have you put into Fortnite, Hyper? How much have you put into Fortnite?
You didn't finish that sentence.
How much did you put into Fortnite, Hyper?
Shut up.
See, you put money into Fortnite to play with a funny-looking skin in a video game. I get physical things that will last forever until they break. But I take good care of my figures, so they never break. This Starscream will last forever. But eventually the day will come. The day will come where Fortnite servers will close eventually, and then you're gonna look real silly.
Now that Nemesis bug rank has died at the ripe old age of 67 due to heart palpitations, I, Starscream, and leader of the Decepticons.
I can't believe the amount of Starscreams this motherfucker owns. Why is there so much competition?
You know, I
Decepticons! Follow me! I've got the funny crown! He's got a bigger Starscream with a bigger crown! This is ludicrous! Why does Grimlock have a crown? You're not even a Decepticon! Why do all these Transformers have crowns? Why do you have this human thing? Why do we have human things? Why have I got a cape? How have I got a cape on?
Hatsune Miku.
Okay.
By the way, I beat Rainbow
Anyway,
Dash.
Anyways, next segment. Let's go to the next one. The next,
We're going
the
into
next official ordeal.
Multiversus.
Nice segment, Hyper. We're gonna talk about Multiversus now.
Yeah,
by the
that's
way.
a segment, and
Oh,
not
right,
just
yeah,
like the
yeah.
next part
Right.
of the same
I meant
segment.
next portion.
He's just trying to avoid the Fortnite
Jason's
discussion here now.
Yeah. Anyways, Jason, he's also in this too. That's pretty awesome.
And
I
so is
So-
Agent Smith and a banana.
yeah.
I can't believe they put an Ichigo into Multiversus. That's insane.
At the time of this recording,
Before you say no. Before you say what you say, let me say what I have to say first. I think right now it's pretty fun. I like playing with a lot of the characters. I like playing Superman to just throw people off edges and cliffs and insta kill them at 0 because I am a very fun person to play with.
I don't play Multiversus.
And also
so.
Iron Giant.
Alright, you should know what our opinions are if you watch John Frost. By the way, you should watch John Frost. We did a stream with him today, and by today I mean a week ago, because we have time powers and you do not.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't. Well, he does. I'm talking about
your
the
today
audience,
is my
Tyler.
yesterday.
Oh, that's not a power. That's a mistake. You should get that looked at.
You can call yourself a mistake if you want. I don't want to be that rude to my friends.
And I will. Because
Alright,
I have the right to.
Gumball Mistake is a big fan of Multiverses.
It has Steven.
Didn't they
Steven is one
I
of
heard
the
that they
few good-
removed a class. I don't know what that means.
They removed support because they realized that in 1v1s, being a support means you suck.
Steven is a fun character.
So they made
Multiverse.
Steven. No. I love this same blunt rotation. They made Steven Universe into a tank. So you have Jason Voorhees, the Iron Giant, Superman, Wonder Woman, Steven Universe.
Who is tougher than
Alright, just-
basically any non-DC character there.
By the way, a hyper.
By like a very wide margin, too.
Yeah.
Hyper.
like
Steven has.
What?
Steven has an infinite hyper. Do you want to hear it?
Yo.
All right, so it's down air, down air, down air, down air, down air, down air. You just keep doing down air. It loops into itself indefinitely.
Oh, while
awesome.
you were talking,
Sick. I'll be sure to.
while you were talking, I was posing Starscream, and now he's ended up in a Kamen Rider pose, and I'm just gonna put him down because clearly the brain rot set in.
Awesome.
But
But
also,
yeah,
my Kamen Rider
this is
Agito model
foreshadowing.
kit showed up today, so.
So,
go.
hey, general thoughts on multiverses. Buggy. Not even like the clown from One Piece, just genuinely buggy. Apparently on Xbox One in particular, it is not well built at all.
What do you mean apparently?
Wow, I can't believe they would target me in particular for this to make me do the game less.
I didn't mention this, but I watched this one video, and apparently they specifically designed the game so that they aren't optimized for the newer consoles for Xbox because they want to have it be played on the older systems too.
Alright, so like I've heard
That's
that much
fucking
before,
stupid.
but-
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Microsoft lately? They're just stupid.
Yeah, I know. Microsoft versus Warner Brothers would be such a hard matchup right now.
They should add them to Multiverse. Just
But all right, cool. That's Xbox thing. Multiverses thing is being so poorly optimized and look like shit, honestly, that it could run on the Switch just fine, and there's no reason for them not to. This is not a game that should require so much power to have this many issues. It's just that this is a game that's poorly optimized and poorly
Gotta
built
be
and
honest,
really buggy.
I'm not a huge fan of the roster in general, though. I think right now, what I've seen of the roster, it's very confusing.
like, there's some good picks. There's some like weird ones that I'm fine with.
There's
And then
Black
there's
Adam.
yeah, that was just mainly a movie
That's
promotional
weird.
thing.
I
Which
love
aged.
Black Adam, like as a character. He did not need to be there.
Nope. But he's a lightning user and he punches, so I'm
Oh,
happy.
who's the one Scooby-Doo character that's not in there?
Scrappy.
Yeah.
Other than him.
Like I appreciate the idea of them going for lesser picks, but there comes a point where not including such obvious picks is very, very strange.
Look, I'm just
All right,
saying,
we don't have
people probably
we
wouldn't have
don't
been
have
as happy
Mordecai.
with Greninja and Incineroar if Pikachu and Charizard just weren't in Smash at all.
Yeah.
We got our Piranha Plant before we even got Sonic. We got a Piranha Plant before we even got fucking Kirby.
Yeah.
Basically, that's basically
Like,
what that is. Yeah,
It's so
like
weird.
Banana Guard is just like it's not even a good weird pick. That's just like why?
Like, it's
If you're
so
gonna go for a
strange.
joke character, you got Lemon Grab, you got Ice King, you got fucking Gunther. Gunther would have been so cool.
Banana Guard? Like,
Apparently,
really?
now I can't be certain.
I mean,
but
I love
from
the
what
trailer
I
though.
hear,
It's Batman telling it.
from what I hear, he has a lot of stuff they could have pulled from a moveset, but all they gave him was a stick that was also short range for some reason.
That is tragic. I mean, there's also Joker, which I mean, hey, he looks better in there than the Suicide Squad.
The bar is in hell.
Yeah, literally, yes. Literally, they literally gave out skins. It's like for the current remaining players of the game, you get a clown skin.
Where's the duck? I feel like we're missing a
That-
duck in this lineup.
Donald.
Exactly, that
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
Donald.
totally.
And then Howard.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't know why Arya
Um,
Stark was the Game of Thrones pull. I know she's popular, but at the same time,
Is that not the main character? I don't watch Game of
No.
Thrones.
there is no real
I mean,
main
like,
character, but the closest
I mean-
would be Jon Snow. Someone, who actually,
Okay.
like, kind of earned a lot of his victories. Arya kind of just steals the kill of one of the main antagonists. Even though there's a ton of characters in that scene who have a personal connection with Froster the asshole, and she's not one of them, but she's the one that gets the kill because he's an idiot.
That's lame.
It is.
You know, the next Game of Thrones rap should be the water bottle they left on set.
Starbucks. What a
Imagine if they add like a Ben 10 character and they just add like
Kevin.
yeah,
Kevin's car.
Kevin's car. Yeah,
I
specifically.
mean, now it would be great if the car just got up and started punching like the Daytona car. That would be great, though.
that would be awesome.
They're gonna bring Godzilla in,
But,
but they're
yeah.
gonna bring it in not with Godzilla or Mothra. They're gonna bring it in with like Ebirah. That's the play.
No, they bring it in with one of the human. They bring it in with one of the human characters.
Now they're bringing it in with Tiamat to continue the trend of hyping Titanus Tiamat up, only for her to just fucking fail at everything in the one time she showed up in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
All they did with Tiamat was hype
Really?
up how fucking cool she was, and then in Godzilla X Kong, she dies about as quickly as Manda would. Which is fitting because she kinda looks like him.
Because it's like Bryan Cranston. You've been dead since the first act.
All she
Yeah.
exists for is so Godzilla can do something before the final battle. Because the whole movie, it's a King Kong movie. Godzilla's not really in the movie all that much. Godzilla did not deserve top billing there.
Anyways, back to Multiversus. If there's like, I do want to ask though, if there's like any character I guess like, I'm very mixed on the roster, but I think there's like at least more
I
good
don't-
than bad for me.
All right, so
But
Courage to Cowardly Dog obviously comes to mind, but above all else, if I want a character, what I want is Steven treated with respect by the game, because like he was the worst character in the beta, and then they have a picture of Steven getting beaten the fuck up, saying, Here's what he did while he was away. He was beaten the shit out of by the hockey team." Like, they don't like Steven.
I
His
think
voice actor is not good
what we need,
in this
obviously,
game.
is Team Ruby, because it would be ironic to put them in now.
The thing is, I can't rule it out.
I would play the game if Team Ruby was in it, because then I would just scream in my abridged voices, and then just pretend like they don't have their actual voices in the game. I would make a mod for the game, if possible, where I voice them.
Yeah.
No. They had a Ruby rep and it's Neo, so they don't have to pay a voice actor.
She has a voice actress, though.
That one that Warner Bros. Was concerned about.
She grunts in cross tag for some reason.
She laughs in cross tag.
She does that
What?
too.
Yeah,
Why?
Casey Lee Williams.
That's weird. Anyways,
I find it funny that when I made Neo say something in my abridged series, no one commented on it. No one was like, "That's weird." It's like everyone just accepted. Yeah, that's probably fine in this context, you know. This is the same video with a talking teapot, so you know it's not that weird that a human would talk.
Yeah. For me, I mean, obviously, I would just want 2 characters, mainly just so I could get some, a different experience. I just want Ben 10 and Green Lantern in it.
I have no strong opinion, to be honest. I don't play the game, so
What happens if King Kong draws but Godzilla doesn't?
I would not.
Why
be
would he be
surprised,
there?
because King Kong is a property Warner Brothers can just use whenever they want. Godzilla is not necessarily is not. So I would totally understand if King Kong came in first. I would be surprised if they actually called him King Kong, because they haven't fucking called him that in a long time. He is just Kong, which I get it. He becomes the king at the end of Godzilla X Kong. Oh, he's King Kong now. Why are they so shit
What if
with
it's
names in
really
the Monsterverse? I love the Monsterverse. Why are they so shit with names? Why is it like there's these there's these 3 kaiju, or there's 4 kaiju with names originating from foreign words. There's a bunch of kaiju named after mythological and religious figures, and then there's also Kong. And then there's kaiju who don't have names. Scar King, that's not a name. Massive unidentified terrestrial organism, that's not a fucking name. Skull Devil, that's not a fucking name. Why is the Monsterverse so I know why it's so inconsistent, but why has it got to be like that?
Alright, but like, imagine Kong gets in and it's literally just Donkey Kong's moveset.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Anyways, I hope Muscle Man gets in so that one Twitter account that says Muscle Man for Multiversus reacts to it, because I think that'd be funny.
Alright.
I hope that I hope the only reaction they give is just yay.
Just like lowercase.
Yeah, all lowercase, just yay.
Yay.
But like, even if I'm dogging on it, I enjoy Multiverses when I'm playing it with friends.
When it works.
I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, like when I zeroed to death, everyone is Superman in the auto scroller.
Why did they make Dexter's laugh at auto scroll level, dude?
Because it's awesome. I love it.
That's everyone's favorite Smash Brothers style stage, the auto scrollers.
Alright, Multiverse. Anyway, in the end, Multiverses is a fun game, but it's not a good game. I think that's a good way to describe it.
It needs more it needs more time to cook.
Mm.
It had a year to cook, and it came out buggier in the beta.
It's free, so I didn't waste money on it, so I don't really care all that much. But
yeah,
it
unlike
should have been
Fortnite.
just good at the beginning. I mean, that's not. I mean, I know it's labeled as free.
No,
but
it
like,
is.
Not,
it is a free game.
But not purchasing anything from it is like, no, that's not how you experience that game.
I don't even know how
you don't get the full experience.
I just want you to know, but I've been playing a Fake Grand Order, a gacha game, for like years now. Never spent a cent on it. Have the 2 or the 3, the 3 of the 5 best servers in the game. I've got all but 1. Never spent a cent on it.
Bro just admitted to playing Fate.
I'm a Fate fan. I'm
all right, hey.
Jeez.
All right. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Awesome.
It's not like it's
Thumbs up
Homestuck
emoji.
or anything.
Genuine, endearing. See, we were able to work it into the podcast after all. Like the video.
Like the video, leave a like down below, and subscribe too.
All right,
While you're at it, head
take
to
us
the
away.
description and use the link to support Sunmellows.
Yes, keep supporting Sun Mellows so that we can keep talking about Transformers.
Yes, I will send her a picture of my Thundercracker and see what she thinks. Without context, that
Alright,
sounds so weird.
Next,
What is a Thundercracker without context of Transformers?
I need to show her thrust.
Oh, I think I am. I do have a Thundercracker I'm going to send her because she wants it, and I have two, and there's no need for me to have a second Bumblebee movie Thundercracker. I was going to use it to repaint it into a Skywarp, but I mean they're doing a Skywarp now, so I mean, like, I might as well just get the official one.
Why are Alright, I know Tom Schulk made a video about it, but why are Transformers names like this?
I mean, what's wrong with Skywarp? Skywarp sounds cool.
Skywarp sounds cool, but then you get characters like Thrust.
So the reason he's called that is because he's got a lot of thrust in his jet mode. That's it. And despite the fact that he's known for having a lot of power, Ramjet is the one known for having more power, because his whole thing is he rams into things. And also, thrust is a VTOL. And you're like, VTOLs, you don't really associate VTOL with intense forward power. Because they just go straight up.
Yeah.
That's VTOL. Vertical takeoff and landing. Not very thrust. Overpowered lunge.
Hyper, at least try to sound invested in thrusting.
Okay, let's move on to the final segment of.
We're moving on now. We're going to get out of official ordeal. We're going to go into matching matchups here. Are we talking about all three of these?
We got. I think just two.
Wait, we're just gonna do. Okay, then I can get rid of the first one then, if that's fine.
Yeah, no one cares about showing an anime.
All right. This has to be second now. This has to be second. So let's make this first.
We're gonna talk about Captain America versus Takeshi Hongo, Kamen Rider Ichigo, from the original 1971 Kamen Rider series, also known canonically as Seiga de Sanshido, which is really weird.
That is, I mean, I'm sorry, they gotta do it because like he's the actor of Seiga. So like, as soon as I learned that fact, I'm like, they have to just do it at that point.
Yeah, it happens in a stage show where like it turns out they are the same guy. They always have been, which is weird because Hongo is known for a lot of times he'll give you the most wholesome smile you've ever seen a human being deliver, and then as Seiga de Sanshido, it's the exact fucking opposite.
That's his off job.
I can't believe that Kamen Rider Ichigo. Like, if you ask this man, who do you hate more? Shocker, the terrorist organization that tries to take over the world and dabbles in human experimentation, which included you, or some guy who's like, the Super Nintendo is really speaking to me right now.
Well, he'd tell you that the only people who don't play Sega are Shocker. Nintendo is an inside job made by Shocker to indoctrinate children. That's clearly what it is.
You cannot beat us.
Exactly.
This sounds like I don't know anything about Kamen Rider. Just like this to me, this sounds like you're just talking about the Spider-Man Shocker one, and I keep thinking about like that Spider-Man Shocker clip instead.
All right, so Shocker is neo-Nazis.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
But they're also animals.
No, Shocker is a terrorist organization that is all around the world, and they turn people into cyborgs based on animals. The first two guys that Hongo beats the shit out of are Batman and Spider-Man.
Unironically, that's their names.
Yeah. Batman, Spider-Man, I think the one after that is Scorpion Man, then the man-eating Skesiope or something like that, praying mantis man,
Just call it
chameleon man.
The Chameleon Man one's funny because, like, you just see the shot of it creeping up out of windows. His hands touch the glass, and it hard cuts the glass completely shattered.
Just immediately cuts to that. It's great.
Anyway, Captain America. Hyper, this is the only chance you have of having any stake in this conversation. What do you know about Steve Rogers?
What is your opinion on America?
I'm not a big fan of the government authority. I'm not a big fan of the government authority.
Not a big fan of the government.
I think he was very cool in the Earth's Mightiest Hero cartoon.
Yeah, but everyone was.
That's
so.
my opinion on him. Yeah.
Alright, well,
Earth's Mightiest Heroes, more like best Marvel adaptation.
Yeah.
Hyper is about to be quiet for the next 20 minutes. Let's get into it.
And then after that, I'm
So,
going to be the
go
quiet
on your-
one. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, Captain America's not a big fan of the government.
Captain America's the guy that they made look bad in the X-Men cartoon recently to make the X-Men look better.
Did it work?
No,
What?
because they.
Oh
always
yeah,
do
wait, he
that.
was there.
They always do that with like other Marvel characters to make the X-Men look better, and it never makes them look better. It just makes the Marvel look stupid.
Yeah, no, I remember her, like, Spider-Man swapped bodies with Logan, and then when Spider-Man swapped back, he's like, no one hates you because you're mutants, they hate you because you're fucking dipshits.
Wow, Peter, that's not true.
I will never understand why people have such a vendetta against mutants, but then when they see like Spider-Man and other mutated powered superheroes, they're like, "Oh, you're cool."
Well, because
That's
Spider-Man's not a mutant.
Hyper. That's no. Also, that's kind of the entire point. Hyper.
Hyper,
They're no different from other superheroes. It's a
how,
whole
do you know how
racism
racism
allegory.
works, Hyper? Just like a genuine question.
I'm not a big fan.
Ooh, okay. Fair enough. Though. Kind of cooking.
Hyper. Or before starting the stream, I promise I won't get too political.
I mean, now I did ask.
I
I did ask him his opinion on America. It was like, I don't live in America. How am I supposed to know how the general populace feels about it?
Exactly.
And Nemesis, what are your thoughts on Australia?
Anyways.
Alright, Captain America. So people know who he is. I would like to imagine
Yeah, no
he's
shit.
dressed like one of those popsicles that they advertised a lot in the early 2000s and nowhere else. He's a cool guy. He's got a cool shield. It's made of the Black Panther stuff. It's not. We don't call it adamantium. We don't call it.
No, it's not.
We don't call. So anyway, he has a super soldier serum that was put into him so that he could help fight in the Second World War, and then he got taken the fuck out and cryogenically frozen for a few decades before he wakes up in the modern day, hopefully not carrying the same beliefs he had back then, because that would be really problematic. And now he is an Avenger, and something that should be made clear is that just because he's Captain America doesn't mean he's just going to blindly fight for a flag. He believes in the dream of America, the ideals that would make it a great country, rather than just, oh, it's the country, I'm gonna fight for it regardless. And if you think I am lying, have you ever seen Civil War?
Mm-hmm. I just want to go back. Did you just... I'm still kind of going. Did you really say his shield's made of vibranium? Are you...
No, adamantium.
Yeah. That's not what you said.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's... It's not even made of just adamantium. Do you know? It's made of a very particular kind, actually. One that's way stronger than standard adamantium.
Our sponsor, G Fuel.
It's made of proto adamantium.
What do you think G Fuel cans are made out of? Like the video for some G Fuel and adamantium.
No, don't like the video for some G Fuel. Go to the user link in the description. I could probably get away with that, actually. I think they would let me just, like, put the fucking G Fuel sponsor just on the video. Like, on the display.
They didn't even pay me this time. I just felt like doing it. I'm a big fan of the G Fuelman.
Oh my god.
So anyway,
yeah, Captain America is old and he probably doesn't smell very good.
Okay, tell me about this Kamen Rider guy, too.
So, Takeshi Hongo is a 600 IQ biochemistry genius who was sold out by his teacher and turned into a cyborg by the evil terrorist organization Shocker. You know, they really emphasize it's an evil terrorist organization, unlike all those famously benevolent terrorist organizations. And,
you know, who are more so morally.
Before they indoctrinate him, basically, and mess with his brain, there's a big power outage, and he manages to break free, and he escapes, obviously, and he becomes the hero, Kamen Rider. The way he works is he's got a belt with a pinwheel in it, and when there's enough wind pressure, or just, like, kinetic force applied, he absorbs the energy of the wind and transforms into Kamen Rider. Also, for some fucking reason, his motorcycle transforms too.
The main way he turns into Kamen Rider, by the way, is through the motorcycle. That's why he rides it, to build up momentum.
Well, no, the reason he rides it is because he's a fan of motorcycles, and he was practicing to join the Grand Prix of motorcycles before he was captured.
It's really convenient. That's how...
His other really popular way of transforming is to just jump off a cliff or a really tall building. I don't recommend that, by the way. Don't do that in real life, but if you're Takeshi Hongo, feel free, because you will just end up stronger on the other end.
Strong enough to sell a Sega Saturn.
Yeah. He can jump 15 meters into the air, which is a lie, because he definitely jumps higher than that. He can kick explosions, which as of episode 8, he has not done that yet, except for on a rock. He has the rider jump, riser chop,
climb
rider
Ferris
scissors.
wheels. He can climb Ferris wheels like the actual actor.
He can withstand
did that.
over 100,000 volts of electricity. And
he can teleport.
He can throw a sword directly at someone pointing at him, and that sword will hit them in the side. Somehow. He can do that.
He can teleport too.
Yeah, so, in one of the episodes, there's a bit where he gets thrown off of a building, of course, because that happens a lot, and he transforms into Kamen Rider, right? Then, so pay attention, Hyper, later, the Chameleon Man and Shocker go to the secret spot where Adolf Lederman hid his treasure worth tens of trillions of Japanese yen, so about $4.50. And they remove the cross that's stabbed into the ground, they dig up all the dirt, they open the casket, and Kamen Rider is just in there! Off screen, without his motorcycle seemingly, he ran all the way to Adolf Stinkmer's little box, tore out the cross, dug up the grave, took out the treasure, I guess either ran to the edge of Japan or just threw it all the way to the Pacific Ocean, sat down into the casket, put the lid back on, and while inside the closed casket, reburied himself and restaked the location. All before anyone got there, while using cars.
Or he teleported.
So this is the part where we say that Kamen Rider So this is the part where we say Kamen Rider beats Captain America, right?
Yeah.
No, not yet. Not yet. We have to go in more detail.
I will
first.
note, actually,
There is another.
he could not have teleported, because it's not that he teleported there. He also, while there, he clearly had to dig it up, because he opened the casket and threw the treasure all the way to the Pacific Ocean. I'm assuming he threw it, because I don't believe he just ran all the way to the edge of Japan to do it. Not only because that doesn't seem that feasible, though none of this does, but also because he said he threw it into the ocean, and I want to interpret that as he just pointed in a random direction and just yonked it full pelt. Rider
He
throw!
just goes go.
Just
Or he teleported
piff the
to
fucker.
ocean.
All the way to the Pacific Ocean. Why? Because he's Kamen Rider.
Because he's Kamen Rider. I understand. I know Power Rangers. And
Anyway,
Super
so in one of
Sentai
the early
get
episodes
weird,
of
but-
Kamen Rider V3, there's a big explosion that happens, right? And Hongo survives it.
Uh-huh.
In fact, it happens,
Uh,
and the basically the way it goes is Hayato, Kamen Rider 2, is like, oh no, Hongo, we're gonna die here! And then Hongo looks at him and he goes, don't worry, we have a worthy successor, it'll be okay. And then the explosion happens, and V3 looks on from, like, the shoreline, and he's like, oh no, my teachers are dead! And then, like, 10 episodes later, nah, Hongo's just in Australia fighting Shocker. You know, I don't know how he got there. I don't know why he didn't say anything. He's just there. Where's
This is
Hayato?
why-
Oh, he's
this
just
is
in
why-
America fighting Shocker.
Yeah, no, I can imagine this guy being originally Segata. Yeah, I can imagine it.
All right, before we move on to bigger feats, I do want to point out some stuff for Captain America. So obviously people know about this faster thing. That's really funny.
You mean that he can see faster? That he can see faster?
Yeah, he can see faster.
Now that would be cool for Death Battle to do. Just to have a scene where Captain America sees faster, but Hongo fights back by hearing faster.
And smells faster.
I don't.
Haha!
like the idea of this.
Your ability to see faster has failed you, Captain America, for I can hear things. In fact, I explicitly can hear the exact sound of someone's footsteps if they're being forced along. I know how that sounds, because I'm Kamen Rider. Your tricks mean nothing to
Well,
me,
anyway.
Captain America. I can hear the sound of your muscles tightening to punch me. Even if you can see my punch coming before I throw it, it will do you no good.
So anyway, everyone rightfully talks about how busted the shield is, and I do think that if the shield touches Hongo, it will probably kill him. Although knowing Hongo, he will probably just ignore dying, but that's not the point right now.
It's gonna
I
depend on where
imagine
it
him
hits
just imagining him just grabbing it and then imagining him just grabbing it, stopping all momentum from it, and then he just picks it up and just headbutts it in front of him, and then just uses it as a weapon with the two broken half shields.
Well, that's not happening.
Now, okay, I don't think Hongo's strong enough to do that, Hyper.
Okay, but I think he would be stupid enough to do it.
He would ride a chop it in half if he was going to. If he was going to break it, it would be a rider chop.
Well, anyway,
Actually, more realistically, from what we've
There
discussed, he
is-
would throw it into the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, actually, that would be better.
he doesn't even throw it like a frisbee. He throws it like a fucking
he just
pizza on
throws
the
it
roof
like a
he's
shot
Heisenberg.
put. No, he throws it like a discus.
Anyway, there is a feat, likely, from what I've been seeing, read personally, that doesn't involve the shield at all.
Oh yeah, this is
So
the one
when
you
Captain
you told me
America,
about, didn't you?
Yep. When Captain America was fighting terrorists on a train, there were enough explosives on that train to, quote, turn Coney Island into a wasteland. Both of his arms were held down, restraining a terrorist as it was driving towards Coney Island, and as a gambit, he said, I'll hold on to you until this train makes its final destination. I'll survive. What about you? So, if you take that at face value, by the way, no, not a true name, otherwise known as Nota, is the guy who made the couch. This got to small gigatons around the city level. I don't remember the number exactly.
If it's gigatons,
If we are megatons, I mean. if we are to believe that no shield was involved, this would probably be the most direct feat, even if nothing did happen in the end, if we just took this claim at face value.
I think it's
This would be
consistent
the
enough
absolute.
with like generally where people like to put Marvel Street tiers.
They just want to keep upping the gaps because I cannot suspend my disbelief even more because it's just starting to get crazy.
You think this is crazy? All right, you can talk about how.
So that explosion was impressive. That Cap survived. The explosion I already mentioned is already bigger than that Hongo survived. But from what I know, in V3 there is a bit. I think it's either V3 X or Super 1 where an explosion happens that would have wiped out the entire atmosphere, and Hongo is in it, and it's treated like he died. And then in a couple episodes, like in like a movie right after, he just shows back up. He's just fine. It's like, oh no, I made it. Hayato's fine too. Oh yeah, so he's V3. He's alright. Yeah, Shiro's cool too. Yeah, we're okay. What, did you think we died? What, are you on something? Nah, mate, nah. We're good. We're good. Yeah, we survived. What, when it exploded, clearly my pinwheel started going, and like, I'm okay. Yeah, it's alright, mate. It's alright, mate. And he just lives. I think Hongo's a little stronger than Captain America, I'm gonna be honest. Of course, we have not researched everything with both, to be fair.
Yeah, this is a matchup that me and Nemesis and his son are actively researching because I feel like out of all matchups that should happen one day, this is the one simply for how massive Toku is.
And like I've already been going back through like Kamen Rider shows, so it only makes sense if I'm going to watch all of them. I might as well take notes on everything, which of course would include Hongo, who's like one of the star characters.
All right, but none of the strength matters because the shield scales to attack potency feats that are insane. So what this comes down to is a matter of speed. Feel free to feel free to hijack this now.
I was just gonna say, you can also scale Hongo high enough that you could probably take a few hits from the shield. Now, of course, it will depend on where you scale the shield, because obviously the main thing is the shield has harmed heralds. Like, no sugarcoating it, it has in the past. And where you want to put them, how consistent you think it is, how strong you think the particular ones that he hurt are, that's really going to depend on you. I'm not sure exactly all the ones that he has harmed and how strong they are. One of them is probably Hulk, which is completely meaningless because it's Hulk. But I'm sure he's harmed probably Thor at some point. I'm willing to accept.
I imagine he had to have fucked up Thanos at least once.
Have you seen any in particular?
I have not. I haven't gotten there yet. My research is way more barren compared to what you got for Hongo.
So basically, this is just Rocket versus Stitch, but I imagine even more clear cut.
Yep. Let's talk about speed now.
You can start.
All right. So
Oh, okay.
All right. So Captain America can see faster, and obviously he's had all these Civil Wars, characters like Iron Man and stuff. So realistically, I do think that there's an argument to be made that he could scale to Tony's speed, and you know how big a rabbit hole that can be. But for the sake of it, let's just talk about his regular suit and leave it at that. I don't know of base Iron Man's best speed feats, but I imagine they would have to be faster than light, given the threats he's taking on constantly. I know this is a lame cop-out thing, but again, I haven't done much research to give you a solid number yet. I'm
pretty sure that Captain America has been stated in certain comics to move faster than light. I think I've seen the camera thing where it states that he moves faster than the flash of the camera, which isn't necessarily light speed. He could just be moving faster than the camera's shutter, but it doesn't say that. It says faster than the flash, the actual light. So,
whoa, faster than the flash. Pack it up.
I mean, if you want to go there, I'll just say that Hongo is faster than, I think it's Yates, that, just walks faster than reverse time.
I don't even... What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, when it comes to speed, directly, I think Cap has been light speed before. So has Hongo. He's just dodged beams of like electromagnetic radiation, which is light. So I think both can be put comfortably at around light speed in that regard. And both obviously would scale higher, because Hongo would scale to my knowledge, speed feats like Forze, I think, gets faster than light. X8 gets faster than light. Guy from Zeo gets faster, like massively faster than light. I don't know how they scale at the best. I think just like how you could probably incorrectly scale Captain America to like the full speed of Thor, which you shouldn't. You could probably also incorrectly scale Hongo to the full speed of Kabuto, which you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that, because they're not that fast. But you can.
Yeah. It's funny. So I have a giant Thor book, as in big in verticality and horizontally. It goes up to my knee. It's oversized. And I have seen in the fine print that is the size of my finger that Stan Lee likes to toss out infinite speed feats for Thor like they're candy.
Well, I mean, it makes sense when you think about it. It's like, to Stan Lee, Thor was not just a hero, he was a god. I know everyone likes to bring up that one quote where Stan Lee said, oh, the winner is who the writer chooses. But there's also this quote, I'm pretty sure, where someone asked who would win between, like, Hulk and Thor. And he was like, well, you see, Hulk is really strong, and also Thor is a god. And that was, like, the whole thing he said. He pretty blatantly said Thor should win. And consistently, Thor does win. There's a great Imaginary Access video where he talks about it. Just how, like, every fight they've had in 616, and how Hulk doesn't do very good.
I remember, like, Matt Pat talking about Hulk versus Thor in Film Theory, like a whole series is about how much they scrapped and who wins, and he deemed everything was a tie.
Yeah, well, he's wrong.
So that's funny.
When is Tyler of the Imaginary Access gonna ask me to help him with something? We've talked before on Twitter.
Like the video.
I don't think oh no, I've told Tyler directly how much of an influence he's been on the Versus scene. Particularly the fact that throughout the entire waiting period from Thanos Darkseid, shout out to all 7 people old enough to remember that waiting period, everyone, including me, was basically just repeating what Imaginary Access said about how strong Darkseid is. And that's really funny. I don't know if he remembers that period, or if he was even like around like with the whole Death Battle scene in that era. But it was the I Watch Tyler show. It was pretty funny. So
that sounds like this sounds like the most fun you've ever had relating any.
You cut out there.
I said this is the most fun you've had relating anything to Thanos versus Darkseid.
So, when it comes to Cap versus Hongo, I think if you were to put their speed at equal, Hongo should just win, for the simple fact that Cap needs to hit him with the shield. Hongo needs to hit Cap with just anything. Anything's gonna do it. And while Cap is probably the more skilled fighter, I don't see it. Maybe I just don't see as fast as Cap, but to me, there is an easier time arguing that Ichigo could take a hit from the shield and then dish the damage back than to say that before Ichigo so much as touched Captain America, he would hit him with the shield with enough force to destroy a universe.
The shield's just built different, you know?
Like, the shield is Cap's big advantage, but when it comes down to it, like, Cap is probably more skilled in terms of, like, you know, he's adept at every martial arts known to man. Even though, realistically, knowing every martial art is not necessarily a good thing, because a lot of them contradict each other and don't work together, but Hongo's fought so much in his time that it was probably comparable to the amount of stuff that Cap's fought. Cap's nothing new for Hongo. And, like, at the same time, yeah, Hongo's nothing new for Cap. So I think skill can reasonably argue to be close enough. that just comes down to the fact that fucking Ichigo can just touch Cap with his finger, and Cap's gonna just cease. While Cap needs to hit him with the shield, which is probably harder.
Especially if he tosses it into the ocean.
Yeah, if Hongo gets the chance to throw that shield into the ocean, it's game over. Also, Hongo can control his motorcycle remotely. So, like, while Cap does have a ranged option, technically, so does Hongo. He just launches his motorcycle at Cap. He could do that to intercept the shield. And, like, the shield won't just go through it. It'll probably bounce off the motorcycle.
But is the shield MFTL when he throws it?
I mean, if you
buy
buy MFTL Cap in general, then yes. If you don't, probably not.
No, but he throws the shield at MFTL.
All right.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying this stuff. Anyways, that's
You're
I
an
think
MFer.
we've dragged on.
All right, so this seems like a somewhat open and shut case, but again, the research period for this has just started, and this is just more so a fun side project. This isn't leading yet. Asterisk yet.
Hey, Death Battle, if you ever
this is
come
just-
back and want to do Captain America vs. Kamen Rider Ichigo, give me a call. And by that I mean, DJ or Speedy DM me.
And if you guys want to throw me into the project, like this video.
Exactly. Before we move on to the
but
next
then
one, there was a hypothetical. This is just Toku related that I want to throw out because I want people's opinions. My son and I were talking about like the Avengers Endgame credits. If you did that for the whole scene at Tokusatsu, who would the final 6 be? And we narrowed 5, right? The 5 that I think indisputably should be there. Tsuyoshi Kaijo, the original Aka Ranger from the first installment of Super Sentai. Teruo Aragaki, the original suit actor for Gamera from the Showa era. Hiroshi Fujioka, Takeshi Hongo, Kamen Rider Ichigo, as we've been talking about. Susumu Kurobe, the original Ultraman classic from the second Ultraman series, because no one watched Ultra Q. And Haruo Nakajima, the original suit actor for Gojira. But we didn't nail down a 6 member. We threw around some ideas, like Kenji Oba, the original Space Shadowskavan, Ken Utsui, the original Supergiant, or as kind of like a weird choice, Jason David Frank as Tommy Oliver. Not really Tokusatsu, but like with how close Power Rangers is tied to it, you could argue he deserves the credit too. But like of those, like in the comments, what are your favorite ideas, or just who do you think in the overall Tokusatsu sphere should get that 6 placement? Because there's a lot of options. We didn't even bring up anyone from the Metal Hero side of things, but neither of us are really versed in it.
Did you bring up Ultraman?
Yeah, Susumu.
Okay.
It would go in the order of bottom is Aka Ranger, then Gamera, then Ichigo, then Ultraman, then Gojira. That would be the order.
All right. Well, I cannot help you guys, so this is up to the guys in the comment section to add a comment and add to the algorithm.
Now, Hyper's going to come out of hibernation, or I guess I should call it Hypernation.
Hibernation.
Yeah.
Wake up!
So for the I am.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
So for the second matchup of
No.
the second podcast.
All right, I'm kidding.
I'm just gonna leave.
No.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, you're not. You're going to stay.
But for the second matchup in this segment for the second ever podcast, we have the true second place matchup of all time, Kratos versus Asura, that got second place in the Tournament of Champions.
Funnily enough, both of these are matchups from the previous ballot before the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them lost, too. So,
Yep. The first time around, it was because, look, Kratos Asura was, right up there with Kolux for me, and it's, I really like it. I was, the only defender for this matchup for, a while now, and I eventually people started hey, this is actually pretty cool, and it was yay, and then it started causing discourse, and I was now I'm annoyed, but I still really like it, and I think it's subsided now, eventually. I really like it, and I was like, oh, I'm so happy it's there, and then I saw the other one, and I'm like, I couldn't. There was no way. There was some
The thing
alternate
is,
timeline of me out there.
I think it's Kratos
What?
Asura. Well, assuming like, we really couldn't have known about the whole Rusidee thing, but that was a matchup that always had a shot anyway, because Kratos was just gonna keep getting new stuff.
Yeah.
Colex, this was the only shot. There was no way it was happening otherwise.
Yeah, and they said that right in the street. They
Yeah,
said
they
it was not straight. In the commentary, they said that straight up. It was never gonna happen.
They might as well have said that in the episode. They basically just went, anyways, this is what you guys wanted. Fine, we'll do it. We were really banking on Ghidorah Deathwing, but I guess if you want Colex, we can do that instead.
It's oh my god. And I still get people telling me, well, I mean, it could have just happened on its own. No,
No, just
no,
no.
it couldn't.
You're living a delusion.
No.
Just say you don't like the
and there's
matchup
probably
at that
some
point, and that you didn't want to see it
Yeah.
because you prefer because you just don't like it.
Yeah, it's like there's probably some alternate timeline of me. Like, maybe some other time I can get it next time, and then the freaking shutdown happens. Like, well, I messed up.
And the thing is,
But
we don't know the Death Battle are gone yet. There's a very solid chance they're going to come back, and if they do, there's a very solid chance they'll do Kratos Asura. Especially if they need matchups especially if they need matchups that will get more views as quickly as possible. That's one that we know will get views. So like,
because it's Kratos.
yeah, because it's Kratos. Like,
Yeah.
and it didn't need to be there in the second tournament, but it was, and it was the only returner.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the only one for some reason, and then just bulldozed just way through, and then lost right at the end again.
Mm-hmm. I can't fathom a world where we have so many new matchups getting the spotlight, and then the winner is just a matchup from last year.
God, I mean, I would have been happy, but man, I cannot imagine that going well for most of the people.
I would not have had a fun time if it had ended that way.
I'm fine with Tom Wiley winning. I mean, especially nowadays with how Warner Brothers treats Wiley, but I still hope for this to happen. And like I've been there on its side since day one. And I'm really been a fan of it. And Gumball, I know you've gone through Asura's Wrath, and you seem to be having a fun time with it.
I'm waiting on you to continue watching me play it.
I mean, I have more free time now since I'm done with school stuff. So
I'm sure the gameplay is really fun.
Okay, look, I know people harp on the gameplay a lot, but like, it is fun to play when you're doing the QTEs.
That,
Like,
I mean, that sounds so unappealing. If the first thing you're gonna advertise is the fucking quit time events, mate.
it's good QuickTime events. It's the best QuickTime events.
All right, Nemesis, listen. I mean this completely unbiasedly. Asura's Wrath is QuickTime events and visual novel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I saw this. I was first introduced to this because I saw like Max's like hype rage video of like because like I was just like at like a Street Fighter Akuma. I was like, "Ooh, where are they in this?" And I just saw this gameplay. I'm like, "What the heck is this game?" And then I just checked out the whole thing, and it was like just the most absurd anime stuff ever. And yeah.
I mean, you say that. Like, people love to say that Asura's Wrath is, like, the best Dragon Ball game, but, like, Dragon Ball never does stuff like Asura's Wrath. It just doesn't.
No, it does. No, they don't.
Like,
they don't.
How many people actually fucking read the manga? Or even watched the anime? If they're saying that fucking Wizen is like anything that Dragon Ball's done. Dragon Ball's scale usually is just they smash some rocks around.
Mm-hmm. No,
like, even the infamous universe punch. That's literally just some shockwaves on in space. That's all. It's not even doesn't even look that crazy.
Yeah, it's literally just a particle effect, and that episode kind of sucks, anyways.
Like, Goku, you are not Simone, bro. You are not that guy.
Asura is that guy. Like, the Asura is that guy. Like he like when I like usually when any other type of like typical villain when they just keep yapping, they literally just give you the option shut up, press this button to shut the boss up, and I love it. And they let you do it every single
Anyway, Asura
time.
versus Clive, Final Fantasy better.
I don't agree.
The only matchup for both where they actually are at a reasonable scale to one another. Which
Okay,
is
but
really
Kratos
funny for
is a god
Clive
of
because
war.
throughout the entirety of Final Fantasy 16, his scale doesn't go higher than like he fights a living mountain, and then out of nowhere he's flying through space, fighting God, like in like a big universal cluster. There's galaxies everywhere. It's a big cosmic battle. Comes the fuck out of nowhere.
That is hilarious. But anyways, the God of War. I also really like Kratos, especially because like basically I like these characters about just basically equally to me for a lot of similar reasons. Although just like the way they progress, like I just like how I like how am I echoing? Anyways, I like how Kratos is more reserved later on with like his anger and is far more like he's far more observant in the newer God of War games, which I really enjoyed. I actually bought both. I unfortunately did not have a good did not have a way to play them, so I had to watch them on YouTube. But now I have them actually because they just keep porting them to PC for some reason. I'm like, sure, I can actually play them now.
Oh, yeah,
which is
definitely
awesome.
do because the gameplay is really good. Don't let people tell you otherwise.
I'm well aware. Yeah, and also while obviously he's not, he just lets his anger go loose and just kind of obliterates everything past his path. And I think that would be very fun if he did that on Kratos. And and also obviously like like the big dad, like the biggest dads of war as well. I don't know. I think from like a narrative standpoint, I think it would be really sick. Just kind of kind of just going over the stories and like the parallels of their paths as well and what they do for their children and how they would interact in a fight. I think would be really sick too. Obviously, there's going to be some conversations because like I know the big thing is scale and I'm not going to completely dismiss it. I realize that, obviously, but I think a good compromise is, well, canonically, I think I'm pretty certain Kratos he can still grow big. Like, he never
No.
lost that aspect. I mean.
That's a thing the Greek gods do. He's not been a god, like a Greek god with the Greek god powers in a long time.
No, it's like, it's the power of hope. I think
He
that he
doesn't have
still
that.
has that, I'm pretty certain.
Anything from Greece he doesn't have anymore. Like it's like
Yeah,
weirdly
I'm aware of the
established
Greece.
that like all the powers of Greece are gone now. Oops, good job, Kratos.
That doesn't make any sense, but like, I'm pretty certain
Because
like, the power of hope is still
when
there.
Greece died, everything connected to Greece died with it. Like it's explicitly stated he tried to draw back that power during his time in Norway and he couldn't. Mimir asked him, "Hey brother, why don't you go access all the powers you got from the last time you went doing this stuff?" And Kratos was like, "I cannot do that. I have tried. It is gone." Pretty blatant. I do think they would give him those powers, but it would be super weird visually to see Norse Kratos doing those things. Because, like, he doesn't. He can't do that. It's like...
I
I'm trying to think of a comparison. It's like seeing unworthy Thor in an animation swinging Mjolnir around.
I understand that, but like, I think at least for the power of hope, I know I saw it somewhere that one is still there, or maybe I might be wrong. I don't know, but I swear that one. Anyways, like this hypothetical, like just pretend like if he can use it, I think a good way to compensation, specifically the big form Asura, is like I think that, and then Kratos grows big as well, and basically it's just like the Kronos fight again, where he's like that same exact size. I think in that sense it would be kind of cool.
I mean, Kratos can grow like the size of a building. Asura is a little bigger.
I know, but like SpongeBob and Aquaman.
SpongeBob can just change size at will. Like I've seen him be so many different sizes with no explanation. I don't get it. I don't SpongeBob. Why is he suddenly like twice as big as he should be?
And Hyper, before you try to provide a counter argument, think about how Boy are the same size. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are the same size as a squirrel.
You know, maybe SpongeBob size is just weird in general. Anyways, yeah, I think it would be really sick, and also like for a last, I imagine for like a last, section of the battle, just them basically worn out of their entire arsenal. They just kind of arsenal, I say, but Asura worn out of all of his forms, and Kratos worn out of all of his arsenal. It just kind of goes down to like basically pure rage fisticuffs battle right at the end, which I think would be the hypest thing ever. I still love that cover Deck did, by the way, the Wrath of the Gods.
To me, the issue is I'm not connected to Asura. When I see Asura, I want to see big, bombastic, cosmic fight, because that's his thing. That's his party trick in a versus scene. Kratos, I don't see him doing that. That's nothing he's done before. It has the same energy to me as having Batman in an animation punch a nuke into existence. Because yes, in versus stats, he is stronger than a nuclear bomb, but it's not something he does. It's like when they had Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2, or I think it was Miles, like get thrown all the way across the city. Like yes, that would do nothing to any of those Spider-Men, but it took a lot of people out of the game at first because it's just not how they're portrayed. It's just not congruent.
I understand that, but like throughout the majority of Asura's Wrath, at the very least, he is somewhere like on a scale where I can see he matched Kratos. Like throughout the majority of it.
I mean, honestly,
like,
even that one sword thing, like from the moon, that's already way beyond Kratos. Like Kratos doesn't even come close to like Kratos is on like a building scale at best. Probably not even that, to be honest, most of the time.
Okay, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that because like I remember in God of War for like where they like him versus like I forget the homeless guy looking
Balder.
dude where he's like his invincible skin, Balder, where they just like clash against each other, like mountains in the background like crack.
Yeah, well, like that's such a minor thing to the visual. Like Kratos is not yet to that scale. Like if you see Kratos pick up and throw a mountain, that's so off. He is not He-Man. Though if you see He-Man do that, it feels a bit underwhelming, admittedly. But it was cool. It was cool in the moment till you noticed, he's here out here throwing fucking celestial bodies around. Good job, Lionel. You'll live.
Yeah.
Actually, he should.
I know there was also like another. Yeah, I know there's also like another interpretation where like the scale happens around Kratos. That was another one I saw, which I think would also work too.
Yeah, it's just like it's gonna be hard to swallow him. Like that's why everyone out of the versus scene thinks Asura just wins, and think it's a huge stomp.
Yeah. So and here's how we explain why. Okay, well, I was gonna say here's why we think Kratos wins, but I do think that it's closer. Well, okay, not closer, but more debatable than people give credit for it.
It's probably more debatable, but I definitely wouldn't call it close necessarily. Like stat wise, like, it can be argued as fairly close, but then when you get beyond stats, Asura ain't shit. He ain't doing
he's just
nothing.
Punches. He's basic.
He can come back to life quicker than Kratos. I'll give him that. That's a big plus.
I actually. I actually kind of want to pull up this one part in the manga for the.
Is it the bit where he dies and then just immediately he's back?
Yeah, no. He literally the person literally basically stabs his heart and crushes it completely, and he immediately punches him up, and he asks how is he still standing, and he responds by I don't give a damn.
Haha! I killed you. I disagree.
He's such a giga chat. I love the guy for that. Yeah, but the manga gives him there's like
I at least think it would be amusing if Asura killed Kratos and then he looked down and saw Kratos climbing back up from Hades. And he's just like, oh shit, he's one of those kinds, and he just jumps straight down. Asura can do the kill himself jump that Kratos did. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Just
actually, they both climbed out of Hades. I actually, that would be so sick if they just both jump down and they both climb out of the underworld, which they've both done already.
Nah, Kratos doesn't climb out. Asura just punches him out, and Asura doesn't think about it, doesn't realize what he's done.
Yeah. I guess on the debate aspect of it, there was a lot of stats you could argue for Kratos without using Twitter. This is specifically without using Twitter, whatever fan fiction version people use for Kratos. just
Yeah,
specifically
it's stuff
what's
like
within the
like the
games
like what
itself.
Serta does, like the primordials and all that.
Yeah, there's some things you can argue against Surtur, whether or not he scales, how high it gets depending on it. But basically, I'm not entirely sure where he scales exactly, but I would need to like do another deep dive. I'm going through God of War to like get an idea of that. But um, basically, it's just that if you think Kratos like scales fully to mainly the Surtur stuff, ironically, because Greek actually doesn't give him enough high AP to win. It's mostly just the Norse stuff.
Yeah.
But if you basically give him like the full Surtur scaling, he would absolutely AP stomp into oblivion on top of just like most of the other general advantages of like just more versatile, has more abilities and all that. Although I guess Asura would be more experienced in combat as well since he's much older.
Hmm.
But generally depending on where you think Kratos goes, if you think he's like super duper like super high into universal, then yeah, Kratos would absolutely dominate. But if you think he doesn't like scale fully, like only like to like, if you think he's like only just like baseline universal, depending on like the value for or what you use, basically, like if only just like a few, then Asura would absolutely wipe because you can argue like the explosion feat with Chakravachan gets like 2 to 3, like 3 to 5 times universal or such, and then he could get like massive upscaling through his forms as well because he beat Chakravachan in base because he was just that mad for his daughter. Like he like literally like right when Chakravatan enters his ultimate form, he's just like absolutely decimates Asura's in his strongest form in one hit, leaving him stuck in base. And then Asura just gets mad enough to just beat the hell out of him in base form. So like yeah, he can get like pretty insane power boosts mid battle. So if Asura is like anywhere even close to stats, he would absolutely AP stomp with his higher forms. So it's basically just a battle of like if you think Kratos would get high enough scaling or not.
Hmm.
That's basically the gist of it. He's faster regardless, though. I will say he is faster regardless.
That's yeah. A lot of people aren't going to agree with that, but they should pay more attention.
Well, I mean, no, they're right because visually, I think the sense of scale and versus debating and what is
Oh,
actually
yeah.
being shown is kind of just lost on debaters sometimes. If a casual says, "Oh, I think Kratos shouldn't win," I'd agree with that. Like, yeah, I understand.
I
It's just
understand
we're the
absolutely
weird
because
people.
Kratos is like
We're
visually everything in God of War, other than that one shot of those two primordials punching the universe into existence, is so far below Asura. It's not even funny. It's that one shot and that shot alone that visually stands up. Like even Serta's big feet don't look very impressive. In fact, big chunks of Asgard survive it, which is weird.
Yeah, no, that was actually like a main point of contention about the feat too.
It's really funny because it makes fucking MCU Serta look so much more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they really
God, I
show
can't wait
off
for them.
Asgard's destruction in
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
Yeah. So yeah, it basically just comes down with Kratos being
I
also
wonder who
unrelated
wins a
with
battle
God,
royale
please.
between like fictional between like depictions of Serta in popular culture.
Not sure. Anyways,
It's
I
funny.
hope they add Kratos to Fortnite. It's been over 1,000 days. I want them back.
He is in Fortnite.
I was waiting for you to fucking bring up Fortnite.
Yeah, it's just literally a Greek season in Fortnite. Does it? They update his model. They update his model. They put him in the API of the shop. Basically, he'll show up in the shop. Doesn't show up in the shop ever.
I mean, why would
Over
Kratos
1,000 days.
show up in a Greek season, not a Norse season?
True. Yeah.
Don't forget, we're gonna
Imagine
get that.
you-
We're
imagine
gonna
you
get
sh-
that God of War show that just goes straight to Norse. Because that's logical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why would you
yeah.
want to set up all the reasons for Kratos' arc being so good when instead you could just do the arc with no proper context? Go show the Greek stuff in all
But-
flashbacks. I bet.
Yeah, it's.
Let me tell you,
bring him
boy,
back for,
this is
like-
what happened back in Greece.
What's Greece, Dad?
Shut up. Here's what happened.
And they just go and show. And it's like, oh, well, who cares now? We've already seen he's fine in the future.
Yep. What were you gonna say, Gumball?
I do not remember.
Okay.
I just know that it is late and we have talked a lot. So
Yeah.
like the video.
Yes, like the
Yeah,
video.
this was a fun one.
Yeah, we ignored
Like the
Gumball's topic
video.
that he wanted to talk about and talked about something else instead.
Awesome. This now this happened to him and not me. Yay.
Woo.
All right. Well, see you later, everybody.
Yeah, all right, bye everyone. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Crossover Catch-Up. Auf Wiedersehen.
Later.
Gumball, say goodbye. Okay, good.
Bye.